Before so the second seminar is going to be now on GST compliance walkthrough with practical case studies, which is going to be taken by CA Viral Shah, our committee member, as well as in-house committee member. I'll request Jawad Bhai to briefly introduce the speaker of second session.
Thank you, Pratik, for giving me this opportunity to introduce our own core group member, and CA Viral Shah. He is the proprietor of Messrs. Viral B. Shah and Associates with professional expertise in audit and taxation and GST as his core area of practice. He provides advisory, compliance, representation, and litigation support across various sectors and also appears and handles GST appeal matters representing clients before departmental authorities for effective resolution of complex tax issues. He is a as said, he is a core member of BCSC. Over the years, he has delivered lectures and conducted training sessions on GST and other taxation laws at multiple professional forums, study circles, educational platform, as well as company staff training program, where he shares practical insights and help professionals stay updated with evolving tax frameworks. With this brief introduction, I request CA Pratik Maru, Deputy Convener, to present Memento as a token of love and affection from BCSC. I also request him to present contribution to CABF on behalf of BCSC. Thank you. With this, I request Viral to take the charge.
Good evening, everyone present over here. Thank you, Jawad Bhai, for introducing me. We had a wonderful first session on GSTR 99C. We had a detailed analysis of all the tables, what will come where, what we should do, what should be the reconciliation points, and all such other things by Bijal. So my part, or the second part of today's session, is briefly the basics, or reminding what is already known to us. That is GST compliances, which we all follow on monthly basis, maybe sometimes half-yearly basis, and annual basis. So this might be something basics, plus I would like to share certain technical points, certain things which I have come through my journey of 7-8 years in GST, which may be useful for your clients, for your representation, for your disclosures and other things. So starting with this, GST compliance walkthrough with practical case studies. I would like to just first remind all of us on certain recent updates in GST which we have received. So amongst that, one is the HSN code compliance. Now there has been a drop-down system. There has been in GSTR1 2 tabs, as against only one tab of HSN supplies, HSN summary which we used to show. Now you have to show in B2B and you have to show in B2C. So this has been changed, there has been a recent change of this. In starting months, we faced an error that there are no B2B supplies, but हमारा generate summary हो नहीं रहा है. So there we took a call of एक कोई HSN डाल दो 0000 कर दो, वो generate summary हो जाएगा. But the recent update is, if you are having only B2C turnover, now you don't need to do that 000. आप अभी 0 B2C जो भी है actual figures B2C में डाल दो और your generate summary हो जाएगा. No need to do that another thing to get the return filed. So as Bijal had already said, there has been change in the HSN codes also. 5 crores के ऊपर को 6 digits have to show, below that 4 digits has to be shown. That is a normal thing. 12 and 13 table in GSTR1 has become mandatory. First, we should skip GSTR1. एक मेडिकल शॉप वाले के पास 500 है, उसके पास कोई सिस्टम ही नहीं है, हम कैसे करेंगे? तो ये सब रीज़न से we used to skip that, but recently there has been this compulsion of showing HSN in table number 12 and 13. 13 used to be like a step brother or a step sibling. हम लोग उसको ignore ही करते थे. No documents shown. Documents दिखाते ही नहीं थे. But now if you are showing some supplies in GSTR1 table 13 नहीं fill करते हो तो generate summary नहीं होता है, आप आगे नहीं जाते हो, वो error दिखाता है. So this has been one more change. The next June 7, 2025, there came an advisory that whatever sales you show, whatever supplies you show in GSTR1 will be non-editable in GSTR 3B. If you want to edit the GSTR 3B table 3.1, sale कम करना है, तो you will have to file GSTR 1A. But the good news is, today you are able to do it. The advisory is there, but I think so the advisory is not yet implemented by Infosys. The next advisory, which was there in talks from June, but now we have again received other advisories, a 3-year restriction. There are certain returns which are getting time barred, and you won't be able to file after 1st December 2025. Those are the returns which were supposed to be filed 3 years back. I have given a detailed summary of which returns are going to be time barred with effect from 1st December 2025. GSTR1 of October 22, GSTR1 that is quarterly of July, September, 3B of October, 3B quarterly होता है तो वो July to September, GSTR4 21-22, GSTR 99C of 2021. There are other lists, other different lists, GSTR 4, 5, 6, 7. I would not like to go in detail because it's self-explanatory, and this PPT will be shared with everyone through email. So this can be handy. So now starting with this case study, as said that we are going to discuss the whole compliance procedure for GST through a case study. I have tried to prepare one small case study, and I would want answers from everyone. Please do give me this answer. The case study goes like that. GST returns filing requirements. What are the return filing requirements for this private limited company? Apex Precision Components Private Limited, the company profile, it manufactures utensils. The turnover is above 5 crores, 6 crores. It's a monthly regular filer, has a head office in Aurangabad, has a branch office, say in Madurai, and the company also sends goods for job work. April 2025 has transactions, B2B sales, exports under LUT, and has also purchased metal scrap and sold some metal scrap. The HOS received bills for advertisement and professional. So according to you all, monthly, half-yearly, annually, what will be the returns applicable to this particular company? At least monthly, we can start with. Anyone? Which returns are applicable? Yes, sir? R1 monthly, yes. Next, 3B monthly, yes. Third, TDS on GST, GSTR 7, yes. Then, ITC 04, that is not monthly, but yes. Yeah. So, what are the returns applicable? Number 1, monthly, GSTR 1. GSTR 3B, since it is an HO and has advertisement and legal services, everything, so ISD, that is GSTR 6 is applicable. As the party has purchased scrap, so on scrap recently from October 2024 onwards, 2% TDS was applicable on the payments made for purchase of scrap of metal. So GSTR 7 TDS return has to be filed. And on top of that, it is also selling scrap, so someone would have deducted TDS. तो उनको और एक रिटर्न फाइल करना होगा, GST, TDS, TCS receivable return. So this is for the monthly compliances. Half-yearly compliances, as someone rightly said, ITC 04, since it is sending goods to a job worker, receiving back and etc. And annually, number one, before the start of the financial year, that is what generally it is advised everyone to do it, you have to file an LUT, letter of undertaking, because you are going to do a zero-rated sale without payment of IGST. Then GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C. So my fun fact of the saga is, when we started compliance, there are only 2 returns, GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. And now, after so many years, you can see there are 5 monthly returns. There is one ITC 04, there is LUT and all other compliance are not filed in return, but 9 and 9C. So our scope of work has increased from 2 returns, 1 and 3B at the start. Maybe we knew 9 and 9C will be applicable. So for 9 return scope has expanded to such a big scope. Not only the case study not only ends here, it is not only till this return. What one more step which will be there is RFD 01, sir. This Diwali Dhamaka has given one more thing to the utensils industry, is that their purchase of metal scrap is 18%, but vessels will go at 5%. Then ISD comes into the inverted duty structure comes into the picture, and since zero rated supply hai, to wo RFD 01 zero rated supply also comes into the picture. So the compliance for one company has been a big task. GST पहले बहुत simplified version था, लग रहा था, बोल रहे थे, then now it is on us to understand, is it really or is it not? So this is with respect to the returns to be filed. And now, generally, these are the returns which generally come under everyone's criteria, taxpayers' criteria. I will give you a brief revision of GSTR 1 walk through certain mistakes which I know, which are being done according to my knowledge, which should be changed. Similarly, since we are here, I can see more than 50 to 60 people. So 50 to 60 people with 50 to 60, 500 to 600 different experiences होंगे. तो if any point of जगह पे आपको कोई भी एक मिलता है कि I have seen someone declaring here, it shouldn't be this. Please feel free. We'll make this as interactive as possible. That will be a better thing for me also, for me to learn from you and you to learn from the slides coming in. So walkthrough of GSTR1. What are the different tables in GSTR1 and what mistakes does everyone make? I will quickly say B2B supplies GSTR 4 and 6. Generally, pehle B2B supplies were not auto-populated, but after the invoicing thing and everything came, now B2B supplies are getting directly auto-populated from the invoicing which you are making. But now certain time, what problem which everyone is facing, what we do, what many of us do is, we remove all the data from GSTR1, we make a JSON file, we put it in our system, every data which we receive from the our client, and then re-upload it on the GSTR1. It is perfect, no problem. What we are what sales we have done, what supply we have done, that has been shown perfectly. But the main thing which is coming here is the IRN number and the IRN date. Invoicing का IRN number, IRN date वहाँ से निकल जाता है. गलत नहीं है, but everyone, every party, when they are filing the vendor form, they are filing and giving this certification that we fall into e-invoice and we will follow e-invoicing system. तो जब सामने वाली पार्टी को 2B जनरेट होता है तो उसमें IRN नंबर नहीं आता है, they are creating an issue. So for a normal understanding and for everyone, for us to follow, what best practice will be to reconcile the sales ledger which we are getting from the parties with the e-invoices which have been auto-populated in this table 4A, 6B and 6C. Usko reconcile karo, that will be very better. Why? Number one, certain times it does happen, एक B2B invoice का e-invoice कर दिया है, tally में से bill delete कर दिया है, पर वो उसको cancel किया नहीं है. In that case, in that month only, you will be able to give a report to your client that, boss, this is the problem, this is the mistake which you have done. Now you cannot just delete that invoice, but prepare a credit note or just close it off. So that will be very beneficial. Once you delete the data from B2B, तो आप यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू रिकनसाइल, और वो फिर देन द नोटिस विल कम, ई इनवॉइसिंग में 100 रुपीज़ का टर्नओवर था, आपने GSTR 190 रुपीज़ का ही भरा है, देयर इज डिफरेंस ऑफ 10 एंड दैट विल बी द नोटिस. So this month check which should we should keep is we should not delete the data on B2B, and we should prepare a reconciliation. And the second thing is, if हम नहीं करते then B2C is not auto-populated, HSN is not auto-populated, documents is not auto-populated. So we just check JSON file, you get that Excel utility, आप सिर्फ HSN documents भरो, upload करो, the B2B will remain untagged, वहाँ पे कोई चेंजेस नहीं होंगे, एंड यू कैन फाइल द रिटर्न्स विद एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन एंड गेट इट डन. सो दिस इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू B2B and all other SEZ, deemed expert, etc. transactions. The second is export in SEZ. This is I was preparing this case study and I just received email from one of my client. सर अप्रैल में एक बिल रेज किया था ना, उसका हमको अब तक रिफंड नहीं आया. And the code is SB005. As we may be knowing, I export with payment of IGST when the application is the shipping bill which is filed. Then the IceGate data and the GSTR1 data is compared. If everything is proper, then you get the refund of IceGate after the making the payment in 3B and all sort of things. But when there is a mistake in the invoice number, there is some mistake in the port code, as shipping bill number, shipping bill date, your refund is not done. No, you're not credited in your bank account. In that case, what I saw was April था, तो what generally exporters are doing, Excel में invoice बना दिया, shipping bill वाले को clearing custom agent को दे दिया, उसने shipping bill बना दिया, आगे खत्म हो गया. फिर Tally में e-invoicing बनाया, invoicing कर दिया. Now Tally is a software, तो वो 2425 का उसने 001 2425 का 2526 कर दिया था, but इन्होंने shipping bill पे 2425 रखा था. So that was the reason. Now we will amend it and get it done, and then it will be uploaded. So GSTR1 cross check, we should be very much proper that e-invoicing prepared or invoices for export gone are telling with the shipping bill number. This will create our only issues of doing amendment later on and everything. Yes, yes sir. Yes sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Right, sir. Ji. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was going to come this during the IMS point only, sir. But this is the main thing. एक इनवॉइस बन गया, मिस्टेक आ गया, तो उसके सामने अभी 2 दिन के बाद पता चला हम इनवॉइस कैंसिल नहीं कर पाए, हमने क्रेडिट नोट डाल दिया, एंड वी अपलोडेड इन द GSTR1 पोर्टल, एंड व्हाट द पार्टी डिड वाज, उसने वो क्रेडिट नोट रिजेक्ट कर दिया. इन दैट केस हमारी तो लायबिलिटी रेज हो गई. देन व्हाट शुड वी डू? सर राइट नाउ विद GSTR1A, with GSTR1A, I was going to come this, but I'll answer it right away. In GSTR1A, you make that amendment of both invoice and credit note right now. Keep one invoice only, which the party wants to show. And keep that reconciliation ready when, if at all there is a notice that आपने 2 invoice बना दिए थे, you are not showing 1 invoice, or you have amended it to 0. Why? You show it, and then appropriately take it forward with the authorities, sir. Sorry? Yes, sir. Yes. So, nil rated, exempt and non-GST supply. I remember while Bijal was explaining, हमारे से कोई nil rated exempt supply दिखाता है कि नहीं? So majority we said we are not showing, and we are directly showing in GSTR 9. I would like to make it very clear at this point that why we are doing this thing. Why we are putting a default on monthly return side. Because this table is not only for the disclosure purpose. One should also know that 42, 43 reversals are related to this. You have to appropriately multiply and divide and derive a figure of exempt supplies related ITC reversal, which is to be done in 40 to 43. And with this monthly reporting, why aren't we not showing this? Because if say for license sale, वी हैव डन एक्सपोर्ट लाइसेंस सेल्स डन एग्जेम्प्ट है, यहाँ पे नहीं दिखा है, तो आपने वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स में भी नहीं दिखा है, बिकॉज बिल ऑफ सप्लाई वगैरह तो बनता ही होगा उसका, तो आपने उधर भी नहीं बताया. सो देर इज नॉट ओनली डिफॉल्ट ऑन वन टेबल पार्ट, देर इज डिफॉल्ट ऑन अदर टेबल पार्ट. आपने HSN भी नहीं डाला. So why we are not showing this? This has to be done on monthly basis, and which will make our life easy when in the month of December, when everyone is enjoying Christmas and we are making 99C, we will be rest assured that everything is properly going in GSTR1. तो उसको ही खाली compile करना है. So this is with GSTR1. Quickly going ahead, B2C reporting. And B2C reporting, what I have generally seen is B2C mein there are two types of reporting, B2CS that is small, others, and B2CL that is large. If right now recently they have changed that B2CL, if it is an interstate transaction and more than 1 lakh, then it is B2CL. First few months back or it was 2.5 lakhs, now it is 1 lakh. बट नाउ व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज पूरा टोटल लेंगे, 1 लाख रुपया 2 लाख रुपया वट एवर है उसको B2C, महाराष्ट्र CGST 9%, SGST 9%, खत्म. Sir, here there are two problems which is coming. We cannot do a summation of everything, put it and get it closed, because here the revenues of states are differing, and I am sure many of from here would have received a call from department, not a notice, a reminder कि आपके 2B में ज़्यादा है, आपने कम लिया है, उसका रिवर्सल करो. Why? Because the states are not getting the revenues. Similarly, if you are not showing sales to a particular state, they are not getting a revenue. So here, showing and bifurcating between Maharashtra, Gujarat, everything is very important. Similarly, bifurcating between B2CS and B2CL is also important. B2CS is a summation figure of the whole month, while B2CL is invoice-wise entry which needs to be done. So that is more important. We should not just restrict ourselves to B2CS and complete it. B2CS and B2CL both should be shown separately. And with this one more table comes, that is credit note, debit note, that is normal, like B2B, auto population happens and everything done. I'm not going in detail because we all are doing GSTR1 from past 8 years now. Amendments. Correcting amendments, B2B amendments can be done, B2C amendments should be done. And why I am putting this right up here is, as rightly said, GSTR 99C is approaching, 30th November date is approaching. Today we are on 8th of November, 11th of November, GSTR1 last date is there. So if we effectively see, we have 2 or 3 days in hand, any amendments, anything, any changes, any addition, any deletion, any change of GST which needs to be done with respect to financial year 24-25, that needs to be done in the last GSTR1 which is going to be filed now. अगर 11 तारीख का 12 तारीख हो जाता है, we all know what the repercussions are and what happens. So please see to it that all your amendments, all your changes, all your bill additions, if anything is left, is properly being displayed in GSTR1, the coming GSTR1 of October, filed timely on 11th, so that the vendors or the purchasers get the credit in this month itself. Then next is advance received and adjustments. Again, I am not very sure who does it, because generally the practice is GSTR1 का data चाहिए, sales register को export करो, credit note को export करो, debit note को export करो, send it, that is done. No, advances has to be shown. Advances has to be shown, but advances related to services. There is no GST applicable as of now on the goods part of the advances, but advances amount received for services needs to be shown, and GST appropriately has to be paid. Now my question here is, I have made an advance, I have received an advance of 1 lakh rupees, 18,000 GST I have paid. But in subsequent times to come, the invoice has not been raised. पैसे भर दिए, दिखा दिए. So don't worry. There is a RFD 01 excess payment of tax. You can show this advances paid bhara hai. There is no billing after all, and you can get this refund. So, but timely payment and timely showing in the GSTR1 is equally important as well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. according to me, if you are following with payment of tax, it is clearly written. There is in advance thing. There is never there is no exception given to the goods, the export of services. There is only an exception given to the goods. So you should do it. And when you put the export of services bill, put the adjustment here. There will be no difference, and your liability will be reduced by that amount. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry. Hmm. 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 Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not getting your point, but I'll put it in like that. Today we have received, say for example, 10 lakh rupees advance. The invoice is going to be done after 2 years, when everything has been done. But sir, right now, for example, you have received 10 lakhs, you need to make the payment of advance, 10 lakhs. Yes. It will get reversed, sir. Whenever you, at the time of when you will prepare an invoice, when you will prepare an invoice, it will get, when you deliver the goods before the time of supply and everything, if you follow that, you will have to prepare an invoice. And when you prepare an invoice, you will adjust it with this advances which is already paid. There is no restriction 2 years back ka advance, you cannot adjust after 2 years, 1 year, 180 days, something. That is what I said, time of supply and place of supply, everything, keeping that things in mind. Whenever you generate an invoice, you can show it in B2B and then put that same amount in adjustment of advances. Your liability will be nil, sir. So this is with respect to advances received and adjustment of advances. Going forward, HSN classification, as I have rightly said in the first slides, HSN table mandate, B2B HSN different, B2C HSN different, 5 crore is 6 digit, and below that it is 4 digits. B2C. Yes, sir, only B2B. That very rightly said. Exports, there was an FAQ where they have rightly said that exports are B2C. You have to show that exports ka turnover B2C mein. हाँ. B2B, sir. You should put in B2B, sir, because it is a B2B transaction. But the supply is exempt. That's it. Yeah, HSN B2B. My question here is, as B2B, B2C we are discussing, I am doing a transaction, I am selling certain goods to Air Force and Navy. They don't have the regular GST number. So will this transaction come in B2CS or will this transaction come in B2B? सर B2B आएगा तो e-invoicing बनाना पड़ेगा, तो कैसे मैं GST नंबर ही नहीं उनके पास? नहीं, I am asking of goods sold to Air Force, Navy, Armed Forces, etc. Huh? No. You are right that it will come in B2B, but why it will come is there is a specific circular which says Air Force, Navy has a TDS GST number for your deduction. You should put an e-invoicing on that particular GST number. You have to prepare an invoice. You have to put it in B2B with that TDS number. And that will be auto-populated, that will come, there will be no errors that is happening. But yes, that will not come under B2C even if they don't have a regular GST number. So that is one thing which everyone should keep in mind. There was a specific circular which was there by the department. He said that is related to government bodies. If you are, say for example, you are doing a transaction with Prabodhan Ka Thackeray. प्रबोधन का ठाकरे के पास जीएसटी है बिकॉज इट डज एन आउटवर्ड सप्लाई, तो वो भले वो आरसीएम का आपको दे रहे हैं, नॉर्मल B2C को नॉर्मल दे रहे हैं, देन यू हैव टू यूज दैट रेगुलर नंबर, सर. But Navy don't do outward supply, sir. They are purchasing goods for their own consumption. In that case, they don't have that regular number. They have the TDS number on which they deduct the payment. So this is the distinction. जहाँ पे you have regular, you have to use that regular GST. जहाँ पे government bodies provide you with the TDS number, you should prepare e-invoice on that number. It shouldn't be B2C. They are a B2, as per section 51, they consider government bodies as a B2B transaction and it should fall under the table 6 B2B transaction tab. Next, Next one is documents table. I just want to know what documents do we put in GSTR1 right now? Invoice number, debit note number, credit note number. But have we ever gone to the whole web page and seen उसमें क्या क्या है? I doubt कोई गए होंगे. It not only covers my my invoices for outward supply, it also includes my invoices self which I am preparing for RCM supplies received from B2CS. We इधर लिखना तो दूर की बात है, हम बनाते कि है कि भी नहीं वही नहीं मालूम है हमें. Then there are revised invoices, receipt number, payment number. The advances which are received will be received against a receipt voucher. So that receipt voucher needs to be done. When advances are refunded back, payment voucher, debit notes, credit note, that is okay. But also this not only includes your transactions which are taxable supplies, but जो supply नहीं है, taxable नहीं है, exempt नहीं है, आपके delivery चालान भी यहाँ पे mention करने हैं. Delivery चालान for job work, delivery चालान for supply on approval, other non-supply movements which are not covered, which are not taxable, वो भी यहाँ पे mention करना है. ITC0 for we all file. ITC0 for we show, but do we show outward job worker चालान in our GSTR1? कल उठ के किसी ने one good GST officer checks your GSTR1 documents में job work is nothing there, but ITC0 for you are showing everything. There will be no parity between what you have shown. I'm not saying कि वो penalize करेगा, he will create so much demand, but that will be 1 point for him and 1 point for you to discuss upon. So this is with related to documents table. The last is e-commerce operators. I think someone in the last session was talking about e-commerce operator, क्या करना है restaurants. I also have certain clients which are restaurant service. They are doing two type of service. Number one, Zomato, Swiggy पे good बेच रहे हैं, and then they have their outlet where they are selling. Where they are selling the restaurant services they are rendering, they properly take it as a B2C transaction, GST लगा के payment करते थे. But when it comes to Zomato and Swiggy, this is a transaction where Zomato and Swiggy has to make the payment of GST. So where to show in GSTR1? People are showing 0% करके B2CS में, people are showing exempted में, nil rated में. No sir, there is a specific table given in GSTR1, table number 14. In that table number 14, you have to put the GST number of Zomato, you have to put a GST number of Swiggy, mention the taxable amount of the supplies that has been rendered through them, and file this return. So what will happen is, in table 15, what Zomato files, that will be correlated by the department. All the restaurants are XYZ restaurant is showing 1 crore sales through Zomato. Is Zomato showing 1 crore sales or not? So that will be correlated for the government. But for our side, we shouldn't show it in B2CS. We shouldn't show it in exempted, because exempted mein dale, they will ask, not in this case, but they can ask for other things. Why it is exempted? What is the HSN code? Nothing. It is a taxable supply through an e-commerce operator where e-commerce is liable to make the payment of tax. So table 14 has to be followed. While this table 14 is being fill up here, this data goes to 3.1.1 table in GSTR 3B, which I will disclose which I'll show when I'm coming to 3B. So e-commerce operators, similar treatment has been going in the GSTR 9 and 9C also. GSTR 9 and 9C 5, table number 7, sorry if I'm not wrong. Table number 5, there is a table where you have to mention the supplies made through e-commerce operator where the tax is to be paid by the e-commerce operator. So all this data will be auto-fetched and when going through GSTR 9 also in respective e-commerce tab only. So please don't miss this and do not file it in such a way. Use proper tables 14 and 15 to file this. So this was GSTR 1. GSTR 1A, the newest thing which is there from July and in talks. What is GSTR 1? GSTR 1 के बाद में GSTR 1A. GSTR 1A can be filed in between of GSTR 1 and filing of your GSTR 3B return. इसमें हम क्या क्या फाइल करना है, हमसे कोई इनवॉइस रह गया तो वो कर सकते हैं, हमें कोई अपवर्ड और डाउनवर्ड मूवमेंट ऑफ टैक्स ज़्यादा दिखा दिया वो कर सकते हैं. पर क्या मैंने XYZ पार्टी को GST नंबर पे बिल दिखा दिया वो भी उसको ABC कर सकता हूँ? नहीं. change of GST number cannot go through GSTR 1A. Change of GST number will only and only go through GSTR 1. But should we follow or should we follow not? I am also not in favor of following GSTR 1A as it is one more compliance. But why we should follow? Because if we have shown an additional sale of say 1 lakh rupees, 18,000 rupees aa raha hai bharne ko, and the client is not in position, it is his mistake, not our mistake. But then what is to be done? Then we should know that this is a technique where we can do it and we can adjust that thing, 3B regenerate ho jayega, and there will be no notice, DRC 1C, 1B, whatever which is coming in will not come in. So for monthly returns, this is available from the later of this date, that is due date of GSTR1 and actual filing of GSTR1. Quarterly, due date of GSTR1 quarterly return, or when they file the quarterly returns. There is no fixed date in fixed due date of filing GSTR1. Today, if you have filed GSTR1 of September but haven't filed the 3B return yet, you can go and do the changes in GSTR1A even today. But you cannot do it after you file the 3B return. Then you have to go to the GSTR1 route only. GSTR1 is not available to you. And what is GSTR1A compulsorily to be filed by me? No, sir. It's an optional thing. If you want to make any adjustments, want to do it, you file it. If you don't want to do it, you shouldn't file it. Yes. Is what the sir is trying to say is September महीने में मैंने 5 इनवॉइस डाली, अगस्त महीने की मैं इनवॉइस सितंबर महीने के GSTR 1A में चेंज कर पाऊंगा? नो. आप वो 5 इनवॉइस जो सितंबर महीने की GSTR 1 में डाली, आप उसको ही अमेंड कर पाओगे. You will not be able to do any changes in the for the invoices in August month. GSTR 1A can be filed once only. ये लिखने के बाद मुझे खुद को हंसी आई because all the forms which are there in GST can be filed once only. So what is there? What we can do? Add new records, amend existing records. Once again, GST number cannot be amended. Filing methods and online filing only. There will be no nil returns and can be done as rightly said and we discussed for the current period only. Sir, what will happen if there is an invoice of say 1 lakh rupees I have put in GSTR 1, I am amending it in GSTR 1A after 14th. 14th is generally the date of 2B generation. 1 लाख का इनवॉइस 1 में दिखाया था, सामने वाली पार्टी के 2B में 1 लाख रुपए है, मैंने भी उस इनवॉइस को 1,20,000 कर दिया, तो सामने वाली पार्टी 1,20,000 का GST ले पाएगी? Exactly. GSTR 2B will not change with GSTR 1. Only you will be able to give the assurance कि भाई मैंने कर लिया, I am making the payment right away. But your vendor will get the GST credit of rupees 1 lakh or whatever GST amount on that taxable 1 lakh only. Again coming to the walkthrough for GSTR 3B. Table in GSTR 3B, table 3.1 outward supplies, taxable jo normal supplies, zero rated supplies, then nil rated and exempt supplies, which does get auto-populated from GSTR1 if you properly file the GSTR1. Then reverse charge and non-GST supplies. Not going to much into this detail, only one basic thing, one thumb rule which everyone should follow is, if you are doing any amendment in GSTR1 or any taxable supplies you are disclosing in GSTR1, it should tally with GSTR 3B. That will make our life easy. This is not a written law that 1 and 3B you should see to it exact figure ja raha hai ki nahi. You can have your adjustment done, but then we have to show why there is difference in this one, why it is not in that one. So generally make a thumb rule, if you forget any GST if any invoice is left in 1 and 3B और आपको बाद में बीच में पता चलता है now it is 1A, but पहले सब लोग 3B में भर देते थे ये साल में और 1 में नेक्स्ट महीने में दिखाते थे. Don't do it, sir. सामने वाले को क्रेडिट मिलने ही नहीं वाला है. I know it is a matter of this thing interest है, but for our life it is, if it is possible, आप 1 में भी नेक्स्ट महीने में दिखाओ, 3B में भी नेक्स्ट दिखाओ, वो सामने सामने जब टैक्स लायबिलिटी कंपैरिजन आता है जीरो हो जाता है. There is no questions asked. And then next is this again 3.1.1. 3.1 was the table which I didn't want to discuss much because it is a normal regular one. 3.1.1. This is the table which has been changing and which has a significant change after October 2024 last year. That all the e-commerce transactions do come here. So also those transactions on which the GST is being paid by e-commerce operator comes here. But what people used to do is they used to change their turnover in 3.1. Because we have that thing 3.1 में जो turnover दिख रहा है वो proper turnover है, that should match with my GSTR1. That has changed from October. Now your total turnover is 3.1 plus 3.1.1. So that needs to be very clear. Then 3.2. 3.2 again now has started, has been auto-populating from a long time. Interstate supply disclosures, if there is any interstate B2C supply, UIN, or if any composition dealer supply, that is coming here. Now 3.2 is not your addition to the turnover. This is just for disclosure purpose for what turnover you are already shown in 3.1. So this needs to be kept in mind. Table 4A, we all know import goods, import of service, RCM, ISD credit, all other ITC. I will not go much in detail. Then 4B1. Now with recent changes in IMS and reclaim ledger and everything, there are two types of reversals that has come into picture. We all know the reversal, this reversal thing has been haunting us from a long time. First GST department had something other, they used to show credit notes in others. Auto population में वहाँ पे reverse करते थे. Some used to show credit notes in the other, some were showing as net of all other ITC and everything. But now things are very clear, I feel. There are two reversal tabs. One for our basic knowledge we can say one is permanent reversal and second one is a temporary reversal. Permanent reversal for which that is 42, 43, 17, 5 etc. अगर 42, 43 exempt turnover है तो उसका formula है total turnover, exempt turnover, you make the formula, total जो भी common services है उसका common goods and services वो आप reverse कर दो. 43 are for the capital goods for exempt service, there is a proper 5 years वाला formula, you calculate it and put it here. 17, 5 as we all know restricted ineligible ITC is to be done here. Another thing with respect to 17.5, what I have been seeing and what has been done for a few years now, to be, say for example, a passenger car is purchased, it's a big amount. It is seen in my 2B. I don't put it in all other ITC also. मैं all other ITC को वो amount से कम कर देता हूँ, return file कर देता हूँ. आपने बरोबर किया, आपने तो ITC नहीं लिया है. नहीं लेना था, नहीं लिया है. But now what is happening is the department is calling. When you see that comparison charge, 2B में 10 लाख रुपया दिख रहा है, आपने ITC नहीं लिया है, हम लोग को रेवेन्यू नहीं मिल रहा है, आप वो अक्टूबर के पहले रिवर्स करो. They are calling us. So the correct treatment is you take that ITC in all other ITC, 17.5 में reversal करो, that will be again a proof to you. Sir, there was ITC available for my motor car, but I have not taken it. So that is the correct way you should do in 4B1. So, hmm. 42, 43 and 17.5. हाँ. वो रिक्लेम लेजर में चला जाएगा जी. Yes. Right now what we are discussing, the forms, rules, acts are there, but now what we are discussing here is what is the correct way to show so that we don't have the notice, right? If you show in 17.5 also, sir, you have reversed it, but वो कहीं पे दिखेगा जब आप वो टैग कंपैरिजन चार्ट डाउनलोड करते हो ना कि आपने क्लेम ज़्यादा किया है, तो माई टू जस्ट सेव ऑन द नोटिस रिसीव्ड आप ऑल अदर ITC से लेस कर दो, ऑल अदर ITC से लेस कर दो, बिकॉज DRC 1C 1B whatever hits when you claim excess ITC, right? You can do that way because it specifically says 42, 43 and 17.5. Yes. Now temporary reversal of, yes sir, trust. हाँ. किसका सर? हाँ. Sir, I would here put it up like that. You show that ITC and you 17.5 वगैरह में reverse कर दो because it will be not related to your taxable supplies. अब उसमें रिवर्स कर दो, दैट इज ड्यू टू माई एग्जाम सप्लाईज और नील रेटेड सप्लाईज, तो वो 42, 43 या 17.5 में बैठ जाएगा एंड विल नॉट हैव द नोटिस कि वो 2B में दिख रहा था, आपने क्लेम नहीं किया, हमको स्टेट को ये नहीं आ रहा है. So now 4B2, temporary ITC reversals, that is which is extensively discussed during 9 and 9C. Rule 37, non-payment beyond 180 days. 16 to be goods received, goods or services are not received, but the invoice was received. Section 16 2C, suppliers tax non-payment. And all this ITC relates, आपके 2B में आया है, आपको goods खाली receive नहीं हुए, ये that is why you're not eligible to take that ITC. तो आप उसको यहाँ पे temporary में कर दो, whenever you receive the goods, you take that ITC 4D1 में दिखा के, you just get it cleared off. Similarly, whenever you check that there is some compliance issues with the purchaser who is not filed a 3B return, similarly this can be followed at that particular point also. Just one thing, make it very clear, the electronic credit ledger hits because of this particular reversal. Then, and as per the track record, department needs invoice-wise details of everything. So keep an invoice-wise register ready with you for the electronic credit ledger balance lying on the GST portal. Similarly, जो हमने ये अभी टेम्पररी रिवर्सल कर दिया है उसको हमको वापस क्लेम करना है, तो हम एग्जैक्ट करेक्ट वे क्या है, से फॉर एग्जांपल वो गुड्स नहीं आए थे, नेक्स्ट महीने में गुड्स आ गए, हमको उसको लेना है, तो आप क्या करिए, फर्स्ट आपने अदर्स में रिवर्स किया होगा, तो आप उसको ऑल अदर ITC में ऐड कर दो, एंड 4D1 which says ITC reclaimed which was reversed under table 4B2 in earlier tax period. You show it in this way and you won't have notices. You have done a correct disclosure requirement and everything for S compared as applicable for GST at 3B, nothing to worry. Now 4D2, 4D2 it generally gets auto-populated from your 2B also. Say for example, the one JW Marriott from Goa has billed your company. Since the place of supply in Goa is CGST and SGST, you are in Maharashtra. According to place of supply rules, you won't be getting that ITC. तो वो पहले there was problem कहाँ पे दिखा है. So this has been cleared. 4D2 is the place. It generally gets auto-populated. Just check whether it is getting auto-populated or not. Next is just the disclosure requirement, exempt and non-GST inward supplies, which you should do, we should do, but हम sales ही नहीं दिखाते, inward कहाँ से दिखाएंगे? Then as just for the sake of providing it, we all know 18% interest, 50 rupees late fee, 20 for nil return, consequences of non-filing, late filing, tax payment, ITC set off, utilization order है, cash payment, challan generation, etc. Now what I would like to suggest with the case study concept I am going on, what auto-population the GST or 3B department is giving. Say for example 150 CGST payable है, 150 SGST payable है, 30 rupees IGST में payable है, और आपके पास ITC पड़ा भी है 200 रुपया CGST, 200 रुपया SGST और 100 रुपया IGST. IGST में 30 पेबल था, 100 का ITC पड़ा है, तो वो 70 रुपीज़ जो बचता है, what auto-population does is वो 70 रुपीज़ CGST से लेस कर देता है. आपका पेबल नहीं था, ये केस में भी पेबल नहीं है, तो 70 वहाँ से उसने कम कर दिया, तो आपका जब आप रिटर्न फाइल, अगर ऐसे ही आपने ऑटो-पॉपुलेशन जो आया है वही करके फाइल कर दिया, तो आपका केस में हो जाएगा देयर विल बी इम्बैलेंस इन द क्रेडिट लेजर. ITC in CGST will be 120 in my case, and in SGST it will be 50. No problem, sir. There is no issue. There is nothing wrong done. But what will happen in the next month is, say for example in the month of May, outward CGST is 150, SGST is 150. Their ITC is available 50, and 120 तो लास्ट महीने का ITC था और अभी का 50 का ITC. ये सब लेस होगा तो क्या होगा, आपको 50 रुपया पेएबल आ जाएगा और 20 CGST में अभी भी पड़े रहेंगे. Then what happens is the taxpayer has to pay that 50 rupees and 20 rupees will be lying in the CGST. This 20 rupees may be being seen here very small amount, but certain time this amount goes into lakhs also. फिर उसको खत्म करते करते खत्म ही नहीं होता वो, that balance stays on forever. So what should be done actually is, in this case 150, the excess of 70 rupees should be divided into two parts. 35, CGST में 35 यूज करो, SGST में 35 करो. The thumb rule is IGST को नील करो. अनलेस एंड अनटिल आप आईजीएसटी को नील नहीं करते हो, वो आपको फाइल करने नहीं देगा। आप आईजीएसटी को नील करो 35 करके 85 क्रेडिट लेजर में पड़ा रहेगा। यहाँ पे भी 130 पड़ा था, यहाँ पे भी 130 पड़ा है, बट व्हाट विल हैपन इन द नेक्स्ट मंथ इज 15 रुपीज ही पेबल आ रहा है। तो यू आर आस्किंग अ टैक्स पेयर टू पे 15 रुपीज ओनली। इज दिस अलाउड? डिपार्टमेंट नहीं, फॉर्म तो अलाउ कर रहा है, बट with the backing of which rule, which section it is allowed? Because earlier section 49A, 49B was prevailing, which said that IGST को पहले IGST से करो, फिर CGST से करो, फिर पैसा बचेगा तो SGST से करना। But अभी now there is, with introduction of notification number 16, there is a new rule 88A, order of utilization coming in, where it says first you do it against IGST, फिर जो पैसा बचता है यू कैन टेक अ कॉल हाउएवर यू वांट टू यूटिलाइज, बट थंब रूल रिमेन्स वन थिंग, आईजीएसटी को जीरो करो। सो दैट इज रूल 88A, ऑर्डर ऑफ यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट। नहीं, दैट विद नोटिफिकेशन रूल 88A कमिंग, 49A 49B हैज बीन स्क्रैप्ड ऑफ सर। आई नहीं, हाँ सर, वो अलग लॉ है। Yes sir, tell. Yes sir. So then now coming to IMS invoice management system. सबसे पहला question, this is not the answer, I'll say this is not mandatory. Everyone mandatory है नहीं है, this credit note का newest notification coming, then they had to come up with one more notification saying that by the rules will remain the same. This is not mandatory. But if you ask me whether I should follow it or not, yes, you should follow it, because with the increasing responsibility or increasing circulars on IMS and GST and 9 के tables और 9C के tables जो आ रहे हैं, it is becoming more convenient for all of us to go and check with IMS only. Go with IMS, that will be best thing. 2B भी आप ही create कर रहे हो, 3B भी आप ही बना रहे हो, कोई difference ही नहीं है. So what is IMS? Supplier will save invoice in GSTR 1A, 14th of the month, draft 2B आएगा, and then that all those invoices will flow into your IMS system. आप IMS system 3B file करने से पहले you can have 3 things in your hand. One is to accept, one is to reject, and one is to pending. Say for example, I don't do anything. Don't worry, if you don't do anything, everything is considered deemed accepted and your 2B will be generated. That is not in question 2B generate होगा कि नहीं होगा. कोई केस में 2B generate नहीं हो रहा था, तो आप IMS में जाओ, उधर नीचे है generate 2B दबा दो, अपने आप generate 2B हो जाता है. That's some technical error which 1 or 2 taxpayers face in 2-3 months. But IMS is not necessary. There are right now notifications on credit notes and import transactions. Why IMS is again becoming important is because of the credit notes. We have been seeing numerous credit notes. Right now, last week I also had received one WhatsApp message that there is one scam related to credit notes going on. People are uploading minute 2 रुपया 3 रुपये के credit notes. No one is seeing it. Everything is deemed accepted. और आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. This 2 rupees, 3 rupees for one taxpayer will be small, but they are uploading invoices in thousands. So they are reducing their liability in a good extent. I would not name the party, but we all would have faced this issue in our clients. Some impacts from Delhi had uploaded a credit note with pace of supply Delhi. आप लोग किसी को आपके किसी क्लाइंट में आए, वहाँ 1-1 रुपया 2-2 रुपये की एक साथ लाखों पार्टीज को वो लोग ने क्रेडिट नोट अपलोड कर दी थी, और वो लोग ने प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई दिल्ली रखी थी. That they had uploaded their credit note in CGST and SGST. In that case, since the place of supply rules were not matching, वो IMS में भी नहीं आई, you are not allowed to do rejection and you are not allowed to do anything. वो आपके all other ITC में अपने आप less हो रही थी. So this is what it is happening. At least those credit notes on which you can take an action of accept, reject, pending, you should do it. And why you should do it is, you cannot simply say I have not done anything and I have not reduced my ITC because of मेरी credit note नहीं है. please see to it that now with the new notification coming, credit notes can be kept in the pending table only for one return period. So you have to act fast. अगर नेक्स्ट रिटर्न पीरियड के पहले उसको रिजेक्ट नहीं किया, आपके हाथ से गई, इट इज डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेड. एंड विद दिस वर्ड डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेड, यू आर एक्सेप्टिंग दैट माय आईटीसी शुड बी रिड्यूस्ड. In that case, you have to take a proper call within a month or two to reject the credit note if it is not yours. If it is yours, accept karo, nahi karo, pending ka rakho, nahi rakho, deemed accept rakho, that is okay because it's yours, you have to reduce. If it is not, take a proper action at that point of time only. And that is why, as rightly said by sir, वो credit note वहाँ से reject कर दिया, मेरी liability बढ़ गई in the start of this thing. Why big companies are doing this? They don't want their liability to hit. Yes, sir. In your output liability, sir. Sir, since it will be added back to your this thing. Number one, you will have to approach the buyer. There was one notification on inadvertently rejected credit notes and everything, wherein you will be again allowed to, if it was rejected, you will be again allowed to put that same GST invoice वगैरह जो भी है or credit notes for them to accept it. First, what problem here? It is that big companies, they don't listen to us. आपने इनवॉइस दे दिया, आपने भूल से इनवॉइस किया था, उसको रेक्टिफाई करने के क्रेडिट नोट मारा, दे आर नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग क्रेडिट नोट. And till that time, they are not doing any action. कभी-कभी तो they are not doing any actions on the invoices, B2B invoices. They are only doing it on credit note. This is a case where your tax payable will increase. Yes. Unless and until you are making more payment to the government, they are happy. The next advisory was on import transactions, which is going to be applicable. Since right now also notification is just, advisory is just there on the GST website, we are not exactly knowing what is going to be the interface or what is going to be auto-populated there. But they have introduced, IMS was only related to B2B transactions as on today. But now they have extended this to import transactions also. Now import transactions will also be seen in your GSTR, this IMS system, where you can accept it only. There is no area where you can reject it, because import bill of entries are not uploaded by some person, it is uploaded by government department itself, and CBIC ke andar hi hai, so they cannot accept rejections. So only acceptance will be there. You can put it on pending. That is, you have that thing with yourself to put it in pending, but you cannot reject it. What good thing what they have come up with, that import agar bill of entry amend hota hai, so then that also will be now shown in the IMS and you can accept reject thing. Say for example, GST number was wrong in the bill of entry, which was manually then changed with the department. Then what will be the consequence? In that thing, the old GST number have to reverse the ITC, proportional or full, whatever as the case may be, and the new GST number to whom the bill of entry is actually to be issued, has been issued, will take the credit. So this is a new notification. We are still to see how they display it, how everything comes up. Advisory is there. Again, we will have to see how Infosys works for this. So this will be a thing to wait and watch. As said, reject action is not permitted, and if the bill of entry was rupees 100 and then amendment takes place and it becomes 80 rupees, then what will be the consequence? Amendment prevails. The latest amendment will prevail. Therefore, 20 rupees will have to be reversed. Again, quickly coming to the case study. Say for example, ABC Limited, registered in Maharashtra, receives 3 invoices in IMS dashboard on September 5th from supplier XYZ. Invoice A is of 1 lakh, invoice B is of 50,000 and a credit note of 20,000. ABC reviews and accepts invoice A on September 10th, keeps being pending and rejects credit note C on 12th. On September 18, XYZ amends the invoice of 1 lakh to 1,20,000 through 1A. ABC files GSTR 3B on September 20th. What will be the ITC treatment? The answer is invoice A has been amended to 1,20,000 will flow to IMNs. Since ABC has filed the return GSTR 3B, and increased amount of 2B is generated, the ITC will flow, the remaining balance 20,000 will flow to the next month 3B. Invoice B, which is kept on pending, will not come in GSTR 2B. Credit note rejected will not come in GSTR 2B. And September GSTR 2B, ABC September GSTR 2B will show original invoice 1 lakh only, and 1 lakh eligible ITC will be claimed. In addition to this, the Delhi thing which I already spoke, I put in it as a case study. What happens, which we already discussed, so I'm skipping this thing. But what can be done in this case? When the credit note has been received, ये तो 1-2 रुपए थी, कोई वांदा नहीं था. अगर ऐसी कोई क्रेडिट नोट आती है जो हमारी है ही नहीं, उसने POS में उसके स्टेट का डिटेल डाला है, we are not able to reject it in the IMS. What needs to be done? We should all be aware of one tab which is available in the GST is communication between taxpayer. Use that tab, you put a message to that particular person that this invoice credit note, you have done it wrong and you should amend it. We don't know whether these messages are going to the GST department or not, but something is there on record. Tomorrow, if it is a bigger amount, you do not reduce your ITC, you take the full ITC, and there is any notice, you can take this, sir, मैंने तो ये भी डाला हुआ है. You can check with him. This is on there. There are also rounds in the market, which I am not confirming, but there are news that this tab of communication between taxpayer is being used by traders to get the payment also. Because there are two things, 180 days said sab dar rahe hai, and second, I am not sure, I have not experienced it, but as we say, there are influencers and everyone putting it, that whenever the chap not making the payment goes for any MSME loan or any loan, the department checks the GST thing, this communication, and they see that someone has asked for the payment, और आपने उसका payment नहीं किया है तो उनका loan अटक रहा है. So that person then comes to us कि सर हमारा लोन अटक रहा है, मैं आपको पेमेंट कर रहा हूँ, वो उधर से निकाल दीजिए. So this is what is being claimed. I will not use this platform to confirm this thing is happening, but I would put it, these are the talks, but this is a correct way. अगर वो डर के 180 days की notice से भी डर के अगर पैसा दे रहा है, then why shouldn't we use this communication between taxpayer, where it gives a message in the drop down saying that payment is not made for certain invoice, and जैसे ही आप select करते हो, amount आता है, tax आता है, invoice number का proper field आ जाता है. Somewhere any department and GST officer will at least take an action against him. कुछ तो हमको नहीं मिला तो उसका तो गया, at least उतना तो होएगा अपने में. So that is one thing which can be done. I don't claim whether money is being recovered. This recovery happens from GST portal, but there are talks in the town, sir. Next is GSTR 6 for ISD distributors. We all know from 1/4/2025, input service distributor is compulsory for everyone to follow. First it was there, but there was an optional thing, put a cross charge and everything. Ab ISD ko you do not follow it. But from 1/4/2025, ISD has been important. जिसने भी नहीं लिया है, you all have done audit in September. Your all billing will go to HO. He should have taken. As of now, ISD is an input service distributor number. I will not go in detail what is ISD because we all will be knowing. So this is just a walkthrough. The filing deadline of this is 13th. It is an independent filing. The form looks like this. Can you just show? Yeah. The form looks like this. There are 3, 6A, 6B. The input tax credit received is validated here. The invoices are, bill-to-bill invoices are added in table number 3, wherein you have an option to select whether it is an eligible ITC, ineligible ITC. You add it here. Any amendments for the invoices added in 3 for earlier period can be done in 6A. Credit notes, any amendment to credit notes, this will flow in GSTR 6. Then comes table number 4, which is actually the one of the major tables in ISD. To say, for example, total ITC available is 5,73,000. Total eligible ITC from that is 5,73,000. You where the ineligible and eligible ITC selected by you reflects here, and it is this table where you can get the total figure of ITC which you are distributing amongst your branch. In table 5 and 8, distribution of input tax credit takes place. Say, for example, audit fees received for 3 branches. You take the basis as the turnover as the basis of each branch for distribution. Then you have to create 3 ISD invoices. The 3 ISD invoices has to be uploaded here. And from that ISD number, it will go to 3 locations from table number 5 and 8. If you have done any, you have uploaded any invoice in previous months, but you need to amend it, then there is table number 9, where again you can amend it and do the redistribution. So this is actually table 4, what it looks from inside. And this is the credit, this is the invoice number where you can see eligibility of ITC is eligible, unit type is registered or unregistered, document type is ISD invoice number, then ISD invoice date, and what is the distribution you are doing here of the ITC. Is you have to record it here invoice wise, save it, close it. Handling of negative credit notes. Say, for example, IGST has been received, but there are CGST, SGST में credit notes है. Can I distribute negative ITC? Yes. ISD can distribute negative ITC also. Quickly coming to what is ISD versus cross charge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, in that case, ISD, from the ISD only, from the 180 days from the ISD, that's a good question, sir. I'll come back to you for this. If it is not paid within 180 days, who will bear the consequences and from where it will be done? For my simple understanding, I will reconfirm that and come to you. Say for example, it has been distributed within the 3 parties, 3 states. Then appropriate reversal can be done from the individual states. Individual states GSTR 3B. Because GST, if I am, Maharashtra is receiving 100 rupees, and that the HO tells we have not made the payment within 180 days, 100 rupees Maharashtra can reverse. That will go under 6B, 6H and everything. And then each state can be doing this in their own manner. But then एक बार वो recredit ledger में खुद की state में चला गया, when the HO will make the payment, it will reconfirm with the branch that I have made the payment, you take the credit. Simple. Because in here what will happen is, it is already been distributed, ITC has already been distributed. There is no tab, there is no other return in the ISD except for this to mention anything what I am paying for, what I am not paying for. And also for ISD, GSTR 6A is there. So like 2A and 2B, they have 6A also. So आप additional credit लेगे तो वहाँ पे भी आपको issue आ सकता है. So that should be done on individual state basis. Next, coming to ISD versus cross charge. ISD versus cross charge is a topic in itself, and we also had a lecture in BCSE also. But ISD आने से क्या cross charge बंद कर देना है? My simple answer to be is circular number 2001/5 of 2023, where it had clarified at that point of time only that ISD will also run, cross charge will also run. Say for example, accounting team sitting in Mumbai, but doing accounts for Karnataka also, or doing any legal service or any software services. In that case, what should be done? You cannot bill ISD will bill to them. You can simply put in cross charge in the end of the month for that particular thing to Bangalore, to Karnataka, wherever, and then cross charges also move and ISD will also move. For me, the thumb rule is for internally generated services use cross charge, for externally generated services use ISD, which I think so was explained in this particular circular also. No sir, there is a schedule 1 where they put it as a supply, and there are two distinct person. Maharashtra registration is a distinct person, and Karnataka Gujarat registration is a distinct person. And when Maharashtra is giving supply to Karnataka, that comes under the schedule 1 supply of services. And in such case, yes, you have to do a cross charge for sure. No sir, no. You can go through this circular. If you want, I will, after the session, I can send you the copy also. It clearly states that cross charge will also prevail. And there is no as such FAQ or disclosure by the department saying that you shouldn't do that. So this was one case study I had prepared. Advertisement services is coming, statutory audit bill is coming, which is exclusively for BO. ISD नंबर पे 2 इनवॉइस आई है, एक एडवर्टाइजमेंट की इनवॉइस आई है जो सभी पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एज अ होल के लिए है, एक सिर्फ ब्रांच ऑडिट की आई है, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर, नॉट आई विल नॉट पुट द वर्ड स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर, ब्रांच ऑडिटर से आई है, बट ISD नंबर पे. तो क्या हम एक इनवॉइस, भले उसमें देयर इज नो बाइफर्केशन, कैन दैट 100 रुपीज होल बी डिवाइडेड टू, कैन बी सेंड टू द BO? Yes, it can be done. And IT support services, internally generated invoices, that has to be done from your respective state authorities only. We all can come on to this thing that if ITC, full ITC is not available to Karnataka, in that case what will be the valuation? But for that we should follow valuation rules and check. I will not go much into deep, because then the compliance walkthrough will change to the valuation rules, because ISD compliance valuation rules are a topic in a whole. So next is GSTR 7 TDS return. As I specifically said, metal scraps with introduction in October 24, metal scraps purchased more than 2,50,000, 2% TDS is to be payable by the metal scrap dealers. So GSTR 7, I have to take a new registration. GSTR 7 का new registration लेना है, that will be a different GST TDS number which will be allotted to you, and on that basis, in that login, you have to file the GST TDS number. The last day to file that GST return is known as GSTR 7 for TDS, GSTR 8 for TCS. TCS is applicable for e-commerce and other things. TDS is applicable for government, local body authorities and other notified persons, which in October 24, metal scrap dealers, there are 8 to 9 list of metals, जिसके scrap पे, if the transaction exceeds 2,50,000, 2% on the taxable value, TDS is payable. So the last date to file is 10th. The late fee structure is 200 rupees per day. Interest charges 18% is applicable. So section 51, official notification 9th October 2024, threshold metal scraps and supplies exceeding 2,50,000. TDS rate is 2% applicable on thus qualifying transactions. That is on taxable value. Government department was there from long. Yeah. Sorry? For the services which they receive, sir. So as per section 51, the deduction is to be done from the payment made to the supplier of taxable goods or services. Therefore, this TDS is to be deducted on payment basis. I would again put it up, it is not income tax TDS, that booking or payment, whichever is earlier. Here it is specifically section 51 states that section 51 deduction is to be done only on the payment made to the supplier. So when if the bill is of August, you make the payment in September, the TDS deduction will be considered in the month of September. You have to file the return before 10th of October. For deduction purposes, the value of supply excludes CGST, SGST, IGST, cess, etc. So on the taxable amount, 2% has to be deducted. So this is the structure. Table number 3. This is details of tax deducted. Earlier, from last 1 month, they have come up with a new notification. Earlier it was you just need to put the number, GST number of that particular vendor, taxable amount, tax, complete. आपको उसको पेमेंट या फिर उसके 2 इनवॉइसेस का टोटल करके डालना था. From this particular month, invoice-wise details has to be put, and that is a new amendment, new changes in GSTR 7, which has been brought in by the GST department. So table number 3, we have to put all those invoice-wise details now for TDS deducted. Table number 4 is the amendment of earlier, if you want to do anything. 5 and 6 make payment, and 8 will be debit entries and everything which is being done from the electronic cash ledger. So now this is how the table 3 looks like. You have to put the GST number, invoice amount, invoice date, invoice value, etc. And as you are putting GST R1 में details, यहाँ पे भी उसकी वैसे सब details डालनी है, whatever is then, it's self-explanatory. Amendments to details to be done in the similar fashion. 5 and 6, the liability will be calculated. Last महीने का आपने late किया होगा तो again 18% interest will be automatically seen here. You make the payment, file the return. My case study here is, which is a very interesting one as far as my thing is concerned. One of the Urban Ecom Private Limited obtained a GST registration under the category of tax collector with so-and-so, as the company had proposed to start e-commerce operations. However, the business activity did not commence, and no transactions have taken place under this GST since the date of registration. The company now wishes to cancel the said GST registration. I will ask you, how will this GST number be cancelled or surrendered? How will I cancel my GST number? Any answers? GST portal पे हो जाएगा ना? नॉर्मल जीएसटी पोर्टल पे रजिस्ट्रेशन टैब में जाओगे, एप्लीकेशन फॉर कैंसलेशन डालोगे, एंड इट विल बी कैंसल्ड. इफ इट वुड हैव बीन सो सिंपल आई वुडंट हैव आस्क्ड यू सर. The question is, you have to put this is I am putting the screenshot in the registration tab of TCS number. There is no tab for application for cancellation. The process which we found out was, put an application letter with your GST registration officer and tell them that I want to deduct this. When you go there, वो भी shock में मेरे को क्यों letter दे रहे हो? He also does not know, but this is the fact. There is no tab on the GST portal to put the cancellation. Only way is to approach the TDS, the jurisdictional officer, and get it done. अभी तक एप्लीकेशन डाला हुआ है, 8 महीने से नंबर कैंसिल नहीं हुआ है. सो नाउ नेक्स्ट इज, हमने टीडीएस डिडक्ट कर लिया. अगर हमारा कोई टीडीएस डिडक्ट कर रहा है तो हमें को कौन सा, सॉरी सर, द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज कमिंग टू टीडीएस क्रेडिट. हमने पेमेंट तो कर दिया, अभी क्रेडिट लेना है तो क्या करेंगे? The best thing is, every form has been given a number. GSTR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we have till 10 final return. We have DRC 1C, 1B, 1, 3, DRC 3, ITC 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't know what happened. Government ने ये return का, ये form का number देना ही भूल गए. So there is no number to this return. It is simply known as TDS TCS credit received. So what will happen is, there are 4 tabs: TDS credit received, amendments done, TCS credit received, and their amendments done. So you have to go inside each tab. यहाँ पे ऐसे TDS credits जो आई है वो यहाँ पे display होगी. Select it, accept it, reject it, and file the return. And the best thing about this form is, once you file this return, automatically within few seconds the cash ledger gets updated और वो पूरा पैसा cash ledger में आ जाता है. Yes sir? No sir, there is no time limit for this. ये रिटर्न ही नहीं बनाया ना सर, उनको भूल गए. There is no time limit for this. There is no due date. और वैसे भी सर आपको पैसे लेने हैं, उनको पैसे लेने होते तो there was a time limit. यहाँ पे नहीं है. So the best thing is to review this properly. If it is received is proper or not, review this with your books of accounts. It will be depending upon the payments. So आप उसको review करो, accept the valid things, reject the discrepancies, right, and file this thing. After accepting, what happens? As I said, this credit turns into a cash thing and goes into your cash ledger. case study, metal scrap. Scenario, Shri Metal Scrap Traders has 2 GST number. One is regular GST number, जहाँ से वो outward supply दिखाते हैं, and second is TDS deductor GST number. The taxpayer has purchased 3 lakhs worth of metal scrap and deducted 2% पे 6,000 rupees का TDS. At the time of TDS payment through GSTR 7, the vendor, when he was filing GSTR 7 from his TDS registration number, he checks his normal registration. उसके कैश लेजर में 2000 पड़ा है, नॉर्मल वाले. द TDS वाला जो है उसमें क्रेडिट लेजर होता नहीं है, तो नॉर्मल क्रेडिट लेजर में 3000 रुपया पड़ा है, लाइबिलिटी उसकी 6000 है, यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं पड़ा है, यहाँ पे सब पड़ा है. तो हाउ, सो व्हाट डू यू फील, हाउ मच मनी शुड वी मेक दैट क्लाइंट पे? राइट, 6,000 he has to pay from his TDS number, and this all this credit of cash and credit is lying in its regular number. तो कितना पे करवाना चाहिए? Exactly, sir. Exactly. That is why I have put this case study. This cash ledger of 2,000 rupees can be transferred to the TDS number. How? There is a form known as GST PMT 09. There, first, there was only allowed to do inter balance transfer. CGST का SGST, SGST का IGST करना है तो हो सकता था. But from here, they have put this thing that GST within same PAN, you can transfer the cash ledger. So what I right now do is, मेरे 2000 का मैं एक महीना TDS क्रेडिट लेट फाइल रिटर्न करता हूँ, तो मेरा जो लास्ट ईयर का क्रेडिट है वो ले लेता हूँ. फिर ये 10 तारीख को जब उसका डेटा आता है उसमें देखते हैं 10,000 पे करना है, मेरे कैश लेजर में 8,000 पड़ा है, ये क्रेडिट उसके नॉर्मल नंबर में से TDS नंबर में शिफ्ट करता हूँ और 2,000 का चलान देता हूँ. इन दिस वे यू डोंट हैव टू वेट टू टेक द रिफंड ऑफ दैट 8,000 TDS क्रेडिट और वेट फॉर मेकिंग द पेमेंट थ्रू GSTR 3B. You can directly reduce the TDS liability for the client by transferring it. You just have to do is PMT 09. So that can be done. So my thing is, with this communication between taxpayer, PMT 09, we have search BOE options, etc., etc. Rather than just going on the GST portal for filing 1, 3B, 9, 9C. Please go and visit user services. There are many other tabs. अगर कोई import आपका आया नहीं है, there is a tab of search BOE. You can put a reference to the ICE gate, and there have been times in 20 minutes it has been reflected in your 2A. 2B तो when it will be generated it will reflect there, but वो आ जाता है. So in case there is one big amount of BOE, bill of entry not reflecting, use that tab. Don't restrict only the GST portal till 1 and 3B or 9 and 9C. And if tomorrow we get a concrete evidence कि उसका loan अटक रहा है और अपने को payment आ रहा है, तो this will be a biggest thing for our client for value addition which we will do. I generally sometimes feel we are getting paid only because he has that compulsion of making the payment. अगर कल compulsion of doing the compliance. But when we put a value to our services, something which adds to their value, the client will be more happy to pay us rather than just giving our retainer fees और जस्ट आवर सर्टिफिकेशन फीस. आपने उसको 1 लाख रुपया लाके दे दिया, तो आप नेक्स्ट महीने में, आप नेक्स्ट मंथ, नेक्स्ट ईयर आपका इंक्रीमेंट करोगे, ही विल बी मोर हैप्पी टू डू दिस विद यू बिकॉज यू हैव दैट ऑल थिंग्स इन हैंड एंड यू आर प्रोवाइडिंग मोर देन द कंप्लायंस सर्विसेज. सो दैट इज फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. देन दिस PMT 09 हाउ यू शुड यूज. आप कैश लेजर में जाइए, कैश लेजर में देर इज एन ऑप्शन GST PMT 9 फॉर ट्रांसफर ऑफ अमाउंट विद इन सेम GST and different GST on same. There are 2 options. Select different GST, then this form will be open. आप उसमें जितने भी GST numbers है वहाँ पे drop down में आ जाएंगे. Select करिए, save करिए, then fill the normal form of transferring from one GST number to the another GST number. File it, DSC लगाओ, complete it. Within split of seconds, that amount will be transferred from this GST number to that GST number. DRC 1C, now I'm coming to the last slides of my presentation. GSTR 1C and 1B. GSTR 1C is the newest update in terms of compliance and notices from the department side, because these notices are not generated by any officer sitting in the office, Mazgaon or whatever the case may be, but this is being generated by the system itself. What system is doing? आपने GSTR 3B में ITC ज़्यादा claim कर लिया, 2B में कम है, तो it creates an GST notice stating that, and it is so fast, you file it within 5 minutes, GSTR 1C is being delivered in your portal. I have seen in my clients, within 5-10 minutes of filing, I am getting this notice. So it is not something you file it or 3 days, 4 days बाद आ रही है. When, if it is coming promptly also. So GSTR 1C is triggered when you make the make the claim of ITC more than intended. So what is the deadline? And this is not a notice wherein you can take an adjournment, you can take a 15 days time. Within 7 days you have to file. If the 7 days has crossed and GSTR 1 की due date आ गई है, you will not be allowed to file your GSTR 1. You will have to first reply DRC 01C and then you can file GSTR 1. So what happens in GSTR 1C? You go into return compliance, ITC mismatch, GSTR 1C को click करो. GSTR 1C reference number से, return period से, या status is pending or completed, whatever. It will get, if you select the proper way, it will get directed. Then it will come with a part A. Part A में it will describe your discrepancy. What is the amount of discrepancy? Why? In which tab it is there? In second tab, either you make the payment to DRC 03, आप उसका ARN लिख दो and validate it, and you make the payment of the difference and sleep, or you reply in one of the replies already reasons. You reply on one of the reasons for difference already provided here. आप आपका इसमें reply jot down करो. The explanation can be given against the proper head if the reason for your difference is the proper all these reasons written over here. तो उसके against you describe whatever it is within 500 words, or anything else other than the reason stated here. In any other tab, go and please specify the reason, file it, it gets completed with this small filing of form. Now what happens is, after you file this DRC 1C, it goes to the officer now. The officer then validates your claim of ITC is proper or not. There may be some case where the ITC claimed in this month pertains to some another period, and that is why the difference. So आपने डाला, he will check, verify. In many cases, he calls for additional documents. You put the additional documents, and then he accepts. He accepts, then here the tab DRC 1C pending से completed में आ जाता है, and response is accepted, ऐसा वहाँ पे acknowledgement भी आ जाता है, and your ITC difference का issue gets closed. If he thinks that the answer is not satisfactory, he may then go forward ASMT 10, DRC 1, whatever adjudication levels he can take, and this case can be taken ahead. This is how DRC 1 works. Similarly is DRC 1B. DRC 1B is GSTR 1 में जो भी liability दिखाया है उससे कम liability आपने GSTR 3B में दिखाया. Similarly इसमें भी ऐसा ही है, आप DRC 3 भर के उसको close करिए, या तो आप उसके proper valid reasons लिखिए. उसमें 3-4 reasons है. अगर 3-4 reason में आपका नहीं होता है, any other reasons में please specify it, all your details, submit this, and the next steps will be as same as what is done in DRC 1B. With this, finally, it's time to say GST. That is, I've completed my presentation with walkthrough. Sorry, I've exceeded 5 minutes. So with this, finally, it's time to say GST. That is, good night, sweet dreams, and take care. And thank you so much. I'm open for questions. Please do let me know if you have any questions in this walkthrough thing. If not right now, we will take up in the offline after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Viral. If at all any questions we have, both the speakers are here, or else I'll ask Jawad Bhai to propose while they serve. Any questions? Jawad Bhai.
Thank you. Friends, I think everybody must be agree that Viral has done this walkthrough in a walkthrough way. It's made very simple way that is explained in a detailed way, detailed manner, and it made easy for everybody to look after their day-to-day compliance, what to do when filing the 1 and 3B, and what adjustments we need to take care. So with this brief, I request everybody to thanks Viral and with louder applause. Thank you. And request everybody to come for tomorrow's session at same place, 9:30.